The profile of my ideal client are those who are passionate about health and safety. They really care about their workers, and they're concerned about shareholder value and preventing losses of all kinds, whether property, people, or waste. When they work with me, I typically take them through the auditing process, and when they're auditing, they uncover things like, for example, ways to improve processes, ways to reduce the chances of injuries or accidents, and also they have the ability to find out how they're doing, their strengths and their opportunities for improvement. And they develop a measurable action plan, implement it with my help, and they're on their way to a world-class health and safety program. An example of a success that I achieved with a client was there was a courier company that had several things wrong. For one thing, they had flavor of the month. They kept having different programs that they got all excited about, and they died a miserable, lingering death. And their accident rate was over the top. They were injuring workers left, right, and center. And when I did the inspection part of the audit process, there was people working with long hair and rollers. Their hair could be entangled. There were no guards on a lot of pinch points, and pinch points are where you can get your hands trapped and literally torn off. And it was just a horrible situation. Walls were ready to collapse. So when I did their first audit, I examined their documentation, which was almost non-existent. I interviewed their employees where morale was in the toilet. They were cynical, they were upset. And I observed the site with all these legislative and safety infractions. I gave them 7%, and I said to senior management, look, you have to prove to your workers that you're really committed towards health and safety. If you're not committed, it isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to achieve anything. And basically, within a year, they took that 7% and turned it to 85%. And the infractions were gone. They exceeded legislative standards, which are the bare minimum. And they reduced their incidents by an enormous amount, over 60%. And they were well on their way to having an effective health and safety program. Do you feel that sometimes you could be that client where you have programs that are flashes in a pan, where legislative requirements are circumvented by productivity pressures, and where workers are cynical and not engaged in your health and safety program?